seen Big Holland the other day. I said, what's up, man? He said, what's up, man? I said, you remember me? He said, yeah, I know who you are. I said, you bet.
Jaron Evans, baby. That's Snapper. Snapper right there.
You better remember me, son. Fourth a long time.
Fourth grade, shooting the shotgun for him.
I can't believe he didn't tell you he was doing this.
Shooting the shotgun.
How long you been there too, dude?
Huh? No, we're just getting started.
I feel like.
106.9 WZAA LP, Jeffersonville.
Welcome to WZAA 106.9 Campus Nation. We are live here for another week at the Wilmington Sports Show, live at Damon's. Joining me tonight will be my brother-in-law, Chad McAllister. First up, we will have head coach Scott Killen and Hurricane senior Jaron Evans and Sloan Marsh. Great to have you guys all tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, Wilmington has Batavia Bulldogs this week. How have you guys prepared this week for the upcoming battle against the Batavia Bulldogs? They're 4-3. You guys 4-3.
Yeah, well, this week, we just tried to put healthy guys in the right position and continue to play hard, and just work on the fundamentals and little things that we've kind of got sloppy with the past couple weeks.
How's it been, this year? You guys start out full healthy players, everything. You guys got 4 seniors down, last week going in first quarter. I mean, you have 4 starters.
It's an adventure. It's been rough, but it's part of football. Next man up, and we've had some young guys have stepped up, and I've told the kids this, adversity is part of life. It's, how you handle it defines your character. And, I think we've done a nice job kind of, taking the punches and, just keep fighting and keep building. So.
Well, you feel like you've settled in now after a couple of weeks of this horrible adversity. You feel like you guys have gotten their feet wet and getting a little used to the.
Well, you never know, because it's a new Friday night, so hopefully we're able to overcome adversity quicker. But I tell you what, we've like I said, we've had a good week of practice. And I credit that to the seniors pushing, playing hard, encouraging, and just keep trying to stay the course and get and right the ship. And right now we're trying to figure out who we are offensively. Obviously because the offensive landscape's kind of changed a little bit. So now we're just trying to find out what are we good at, what can we hold our hat on. We thought we had it last week, and then after DJ Ames in the first quarter runs for 139 yards, he gets banged up and he's out. So then it's kind of like, okay, we're back to the drawing board, and stuff like that you can't prepare for. You just hope that the next guy up can do the job and keep the train moving.
And you guys coming off, how long's Dylan going to be out? Rest season, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
No idea.
Okay. So moving forward, you guys, you said you've restructured your offense, things you've done.
Mm-hmm.
What's some of the things that you faced as a coach, just, with missing 3-4 athletes, your star player, your quarterback's out, one of your playmakers is out this year.
Well, looking at it, for me, it's been a kind of, it's taught me a lesson. And just to make sure that, your backups, your number 3 guys, even your, JV and freshman guys are ready to go and they know what to do, so they step in. I can't sit here and tell you we were ready for that, and is that my fault? Yeah, I'll take blame. And that's one thing that moving forward, we're going to make sure we have guys ready to step in and run and do what we do offensively instead of trying to reinvent the wheel and being a step backwards. Obviously losing someone like, Dylan and what he can do, and then obviously losing Brady it isn't ideal, especially when you lose them both within 10 minutes of each other in the game. But we're going to keep moving forward. And biggest thing is we have to have guys step up in the other two phases. And we've had breakdowns in special teams. We've had breakdowns on the defensive end. So it's one of those things we just have to keep, just keep trusting the process and just keep building, keep going through with it, and keep getting better every rep, every practice, every day.
Now you got Craig Shift here. He's a sophomore running back.
Yes.
I was really impressed with him stepping in as a younger kid. D. James gets hurt. He's went for 903 this year already. He's getting ready to pass 1,000-yard mark. What's some of the things out of Craig Shift that you've seen over the past couple years having him as a running back?
Well, Craig Shift's another dynamic kid we have on the team. He's able to cut very well. His straight line speed is excellent. He's got pretty good vision for not seeing it, and getting many reps. But then DJ got banged up in the preseason, and Craig took most of the reps. So it's not like he's going in blind. Still some things he's got to work on. Ball security. I think he put the ball on the ground 2 times last week. But that will come with reps, and he attacks it. He's one of those kids you look at. He wants the ball. He wants to be under the Friday night lights, and I think we're getting there. And then there's a couple other sophomores that are stepping up. Connor Mitchell being one of them. We're throwing him in there with the defense, and I look for Cam Coomer to kind of step up a little bit and start being more part of the offense. But the biggest thing, and Cam's also playing defense for us as well. So the biggest thing is as a collective unit, as a team, we got to step up and really focus on the little things for all 3 of these phases. I think if we can right the ship and get a little momentum, get this nasty taste out of our mouth, I think we can finish the year very strong.
Well, I would say that Mason McIntosh has played rather poised for a kid that really wasn't prepared for the season.
Didn't take many reps,
so he's stepped in and at least kept it going. It's not like you guys aren't moving the ball. You're getting the ball up and down the field. Maybe not the way it was before. You're not a high power, high octane offense.
Right.
You're not turning the ball over a lot. And
our goal right now offensively, just move the chains. Move the chains, keep getting positive yards, get down there in the end zone. If we get inside the 25, we're coming away with some points. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it.
Sloan, so you're a senior for Wilmington Hurricanes football team. What's some of the things, you've had Coach Killen as a head coach here for 4 years. What's some of the things that you've done in the off season, things that you work hard at? You participate in the weight room. What's some of the things you do?
I always try to, keep my body in as good a shape as possible. And I always want to be in the most top shape possible. I want to, be as strong as I can and be the strongest competition. I want to be ready for what's coming at me. I want to play to my level and the level I know how I can play.
A few weeks ago, you got a little shooken up there. You met over the top on a pass, with the injury there.
Yeah.
Take me through that play, if you would.
Well, my guy went on a post, and I let him across my face. Something I'm not supposed to do, but it happens. And I try to, come back, and the ball is thrown, and I try to come over top and swat it down from underneath. And at the last second, I see Ryan Camp diving for the ball, trying to catch it. And I try to stop, but it was no use at that point. He hits me full force right in my pelvis, and I just do a little flip over top of him.
That's awesome. So I want to go on to Jaron here for a second. Jaron, okay, you've been at East Clinton for 3 years. Your family moves to Wilmington. What's been some of the big transitions here with Coach Killen opposed to Coach Yankee's, football team here? What's been some of the big changes for you here at Wilmington Hurricanes?
Pretty much everything changes. It's all new teammates, new offense, and new defense, and so I knew I had to come in and just really work on learning how they run things and how things are going to move forward for me from there, and just come in and just work to get a spot and find my place on the team.
Do you feel as if this year? Do you feel as if you've adapted to that situation? The kids that's been in this environment. Do you feel like you adapted well to it?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I feel like I've been here my whole life. Everybody accepted me really well, and it's been a lot of fun for me this year in my senior year, and I'm enjoying it a lot, and I don't regret my decision one bit.
Yeah, but you talk about it. With your cousin Brady Evans plays here. He obviously went down last week to a knee injury.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about that?
I hate it for him. I hate to see him go out. It was a lot of fun having him out there with me, and just having him right there next to me on the sidelines. But he's still going to be there, and he's still going to cheer on the team.
Hey, Sloan, how's it been, having Jaron come on as a teammate this year, coming from East Clinton, coming back over to Wilmington? What's it been like, your relationship with Jaron here?
I mean, I've known Jaron since we played youth baseball together. So it honestly feels like it wasn't much of a change. It feels like he should have been here the whole time, and when he came here, it wasn't much of a change.
That's good. So, Coach, I just want to see how you feel about, two of your seniors here, Sloan Morris, Jaron Evans here. I mean, what's some of the things they've done in the all-season that you have promised that, of their workability, their work ethic, things that they've done?
Well, both of them came in the summer, and didn't miss a workout, and they attacked the workout. They led by example, and like Jaron said, he had to find his place, and I think he did that with his teammates to show him how hard he's going to work, and Sloan, in this, it's something that, as the season comes to an end, I'm going to talk with the seniors about, it's just, they've been on this journey with me. Sloan's one of those guys, he's been here for 4 years. I've been here for 4 years, so he's been through this whole process that, of what I'm trying to do, and there's nothing more than I want for these seniors to, finish the season 3-0, close it out the right way, and and see what happens, at the end. And this group is going to be one of those that I remember for a long time, just because they were here from day one all the way through my first 4 years.
You do have a team full of upperclassmen.
Yeah.
And I think you guys are set up to have a group that can continue to grind this out. Even though you've had injuries, I think you can all pull together and just keep the boat going. And
we're just trying to find what our niche is right now, So,
Sloan, what's some of the things, what's one thing that Batavia can be promised that Sloan Morris is going to bring to the table this Friday?
Well, I can promise Batavia that Sloan Morris is going to bring some hits on you. I'm coming full force. I'm flying down. I'm not stopping for anybody.
That's what I'm talking about. And when you're playing, and I love the way you play. You come out, you hit. If a receiver's getting ready to catch a pass, you're going to bust them. I mean, you play hard, you work hard, and you can tell that you have passion for the game of football. And I love that each and every week. We broadcast your games, the games we do. I know when I watch Sloan Morris play football that you're going to hit somebody.
Well, ever since I started in 3rd grade, and ever since then, I've always just loved it. I love the noise of hitting somebody and the feeling of watching them hit the ground and either me stay up or me on top of them.
Where are you looking at after this year? You guys got 3 games left. You got Batavia, Western Brown, and
the other school.
No, and the other school.
The other school.
That team over there. So you got that team over there. What are some colleges that you're looking at? Do you feel that if you're going to go play college football, maybe just go study? I mean, what do you feel afterwards?
Well, I'm not too sure what I'm going to do after high school. Pursue football? Probably not. It's not something I'm like gifted at. I'd say I'm athletic.
Yeah, you are. You're a gifted athlete. You're an animal, man.
He's got to give himself a little more credit than that.
Yeah. Go ahead, buddy.
I mean, I've always liked to play, but from an academic standpoint, I'd love to go into something like astronomy because it's something that I can always, there's always new things to be discovered, and yeah, it's just.
I like that, man. That's good stuff. Now, Jaron, I want to go to you. This year, you're coming up on 3 games left, promising games. I mean, you go into the playoffs. We don't know. I mean, you win these 3 games to be in the playoffs, but you got 3 promising games left. I mean, what's some of the things that you've been thinking about being a football player? Are you looking to play college football? You looking to just go to school? Well, I mean, what's some of your things you're looking forward to?
After high school, I was planning to go to college to become a pharmacist, and so Ohio Northern, they actually have a great pharmacy program, and I've talked to their coaches quite a lot about football and stuff, and I've actually taken some visits there and had discussions with them and stuff. So, it's definitely a chance that I might play there and study pharmacy.
How's it feel, Coach, to have a couple seniors that just not only football players, but academically they're looking to their future, and they might play a little football things. How's it feel to have kids like that on your football team?
Oh, it just shows how well-rounded the senior class is, especially these 2 guys. That they understand that there's something bigger than just playing the game. Like you got. Sloan wants to go study the stars and all that good stuff and discover something. Who knows? Someday there may be a star or a solar system out there named after Sloan Marsh.
Maybe
Jaron, Jaron, wants to be a pharmacist. That's amazing. And I'm proud of him. And hopefully they know that I support him in anything they do. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for him.
All right, guys. You're coming up the end of your senior year. What are you hoping to leave with your teammates when you leave? Done with your high school football career? What do you want them to remember you by?
What I want them to remember me by?
Yeah.
I always want to prepare them for what the Friday nights is like. I've played for 3 years. I started for 2. There's some big kids out there. Some big kids that can lay some hits, and it's intimidating. Some of those kids, they really are big and they can hit hard. And I just want them to know that, they have to be ready for it. Keep their head on the swivel, Never let your guard down. Always be ready for something new, something you're not expecting.
Have you felt like the SBAC is any different than the SCOL? You've played in both. You started both.
Yeah. SBAC, there's a lot more competition. I will say that.
I agree.
There's some better athletes. The SCOL, they're just some little schools from around here, not too far away. The athletes in the new league, they're good. They're good. I got to give it to them. A lot of them, they can make some sharp cuts. They're quick. They know the game, and it's tough playing against them. But I enjoy the competition. I do.
Jaron, how do you feel? Coming in, and you've jumped the same boat. You've been playing the SBAC. You come here to Wilmington. You're playing in the SOL, and coming back playing in the SBAC. How do you feel about that?
It is definitely a lot more competition, and just from being at East Clinton and seeing the differences and stuff, being in the upper league of the SBAC now, you really do see a lot more athletes, a lot more bigger kids on your lines, stronger kids, and it's just something that you got to adapt to. It's nothing that's impossible. It's just you got to go out there and do what you got to do.
You got anything to say, Chad McAllister?
I'm thinking. Well, guys. So, what do we expect out of Batavia this weekend?
Batavia, I'd say a lot of run plays, a lot of runs to the outside, but there's nothing we can't handle.
How much preparation do you guys put in, does coaches put in, and that's as a player aspect, how much preparation do you guys make towards, watching films, preparing for the Batavia Bulldogs in each and every week? How much time do you guys put in?
Well, it doesn't matter what team we're playing. We want to play to our level, no matter what. We want to go out there and we want to shut teams out. We want to score as many points as we can. We prepare extremely well. We watch a lot of film, even throughout the school day. If you're not doing anything, or even in class when you have some downtime, you get on your little Chromebook there and you get on Huddle, watch some film, make sure you know what they're doing, and know what's to be expected. But
now, Coach, can killing. I just wanted to see, coming in
No,
Batavia.
Sloan's doing a great job. I'm
Hey,
good, you know?
he's a great. Hey,
I'm good.
Sloan's doing great. So
I'm gonna invite him every week.
I know, man. They're great. But this week, you guys preparing for Batavia Bulldogs.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you guys expect them to do? Pass, run? I mean,
They're a run team. About 60% of their runs go to the outside, and they'll hit you with traps and counters and ISOs underneath, and they'll have a waggle. They're a base wing T team. So we focused on just staying in our gaps, flowing through our gaps. And Sloan's done a great job of finding that gap and attacking downhill. And we're trying to get the young kids that are playing, we're trying to get them to be more aggressive, and we have made some moves based on personnel to try to get guys more, just trying to mix it up, because right now what we're doing is not working, and so we're trying to find what works for us so we can close out the last 3 games the way we want to for the seniors. And then defensively they run a 3-3 stack, or a 3-3 stack, sometimes a 3-5. 3 look, cover 3. So we've been working on some different things to really put our quarterback in the situation to be successful in Mason McIntosh. Getting his second start of his career, basically, and hopefully we can create some easy passing opportunities, just move the chains, get first downs, keep moving.
now talk about DJ Ames, and here I just want to speak briefly about it, but he's back this week, isn't he?
Yes, he's back.
Okay, so in your offense, you have Craig Shift. He stepped in.
got Craig Shift, yeah.
Nice job last week.
Did.
Okay, you have DJ coming back. Is he going to play running back? Craig going to play your,
Yeah.
outside?
Yeah. We're gonna kind of do what we do. We're gonna look for the matchups. We're gonna put our guys in the best place to make those matchups favor us. And we have worked with a little bit of 2-back stuff. Bringing a fullback in and Brett Bell, and kind of giving a different look out of it. We still run our offense, just moving some different guys in different places, and then trying to outflank at the line of scrimmage in certain situations, and looking for those mismatches in the passing game.
Now, we talked earlier. Have you guys basically? Have you put in a different scheme, or are you going to do
Nope.
things the same?
Nope, we're still a spread team. We're still a zone team. That's what we're going to do. So
That's
I did hear a rumor at the tunnel last week that you were going to line Connor Barton in the backfield.
that's just a rumor. Just a rumor.
No truth to that at all?
No, I don't know where you're getting your information. That's wrong.
That would be his father, I guess.
and talking about the line, and Doug Estes and Connor Barton, both, they're great athletes. I love watching them play. They work hard. Doug Estes does a great job there at defensive end. He plays line for you. Connor Barton's an animal.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been all over the field. Tell me something about Connor Barton that, and that Campus Nation don't know yet.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's 275 pounds, and he's kind of like one of those. Doesn't talk a lot, but I mean, you put him in there, he's going to do his job, and if you get in his way, he's going to run you over. Basically, that's what he's going to do.
Is he going to be coming on the show sometime here? I want to talk to him.
You know what?
The guy's an animal.
I've asked him, and
He's a big teddy bear.
yeah, I don't think he likes talking.
He don't like talking much?
No, I mean,
So it's kind of, we're going to have to force him to come in here.
maybe one of those things we have to drag him in. Now I'm not big enough to drag him in, so I don't know how he's going to get here.
Now, you guys, and I want to talk, go ahead and go to Jaron. Something, you're a lineman here. You come in, Connor Barton, you've competed against him for years. Through Pee Wee, through junior high, high school. What's something that he brings to the table that maybe you've picked up on?
I mean, one thing we know for sure is Connor's just big and he's strong, and he works hard and stuff, and it's just it seems like he never gets tired. He's always works hard, does his job on every play, and just, I mean, if you're going to put him out there, he's going to work hard and do what he needs to do.
Now, going back to Mason McIntosh, Coach, he steps in this year as a junior, just kind of thrown right in.
Yeah, he was thrown into the fire.
Thrown into the fire.
Because when you look at it, I mean, he took some reps like in preseason, but when it comes down to it, I mean, we had Brady, we had Dylan, then we had Mason. So your third string quarterback doesn't get a whole lot of reps, if any. You know, which I've kind of learned. Yeah, our third string quarterback needs more reps. So, kind of once again, learning experience on my part. So, but he's done his moxie. You know, stepping in, the confidence, because anybody could have said, I don't want that. Said, Mace, we need you. He jumped right in there. You know, and he's done a nice job running our offense. So.
And you know, everyone in the stands, they sit there and they think, oh, I got the solution. But when nothing's working, nobody has anything to say. But when everything's working, everybody
people
does.
got stuff to say.
They got stuff, but it ain't the positive things. They don't have the play to call.
Right. But they think, some of them think they do, you know. And, yeah, it's frustrating. You sit there, I flip over the offensive coaches, you know, like Josh Wolf, you know, and him and I have that relationship. And I'm like, what are you doing? And, you know, he's got some choice words for me, you know, but it gets frustrating. And the thing we can't do is we can't let that frustration, you know, seep out onto the field, and the players can't know the frustration, you know, because they're frustrated too. They're frustrated that they're going 3 and out. They're frustrated they can't get first downs. They're frustrated returning the ball over, you know. So it's just one of those things. We have to find our niche, keep everything moving, and keep everything rolling. And Mason's done a nice job of, you know, making sure that happens. So.
Well, good luck this week against Batavia Bulldogs, all you guys.
Thank you.
Because I guarantee you, you know, you got to get back on track this week. Let's go 3-0, like you said, Coach. Let's go 3-0. Let's get in the playoffs. Let's get rolling. I mean, you're only promised 3 games left, guys.
Yep.
And the thing is, you got a great coach, great coaching staff as a whole. Just keep grinding and tell those younger kids, keep grinding. That's what you got to do. And the thing is, don't look back. Don't look at what happened before. Keep grinding and move forward. I appreciate you guys coming
Thanks
on.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Sloan.
Sir.
Thanks. Sloan. Thanks, Jared. He does a good job, too.
I thought he'd like this.
106.9 WZAA LP, Jeffersonville.
Welcome back here on WZA 106.9, CampusNation.com. Our second half of the sports show, we have head coach Brian Moore, Coach Philly, defensive coordinator, and Luke, the quarterback for Luke Credit, the quarterback for Wilmington Hurricanes. Coach.
Quakers.
Quaker. Sorry, Quakers. Sorry, I'm sorry
It's
about
confusing
that,
on here.
I am. I was look. Yeah. Now look. So, Coach, you guys coming off last week? You guys played a great first half. It was a close game. What's some of the things maybe last week that went wrong in the second half? You feel?
Yeah, I think our defense played really, really well in the first half, and I think offensively we gave away some opportunities to take a lead and take some momentum into halftime. Some of it was some bad play calling on my part at the very end of the half. I think the biggest, we just could never get on the same page where our offense and defense was playing well together. Coach Philly put together a great game plan and executed really well in the first half, and offensively we're just sporadic, a lot of drop balls at key times in the first half. And then, after halftime we came out and the offense got going a little bit, took the lead early there in the third quarter. And then the defense kind of broke down a little bit, and then, like I said, we couldn't get on the same page. We had about an 8-minute stretch there where we played some really bad football, and in the end, that really cost us.
Now, what do you expect? You guys play Marietta this week. What are you expecting to see from them as a coaching standpoint?
Yeah, they're very similar to us in a lot of ways, where their offense is sporadic. They've got some weapons, and they're averaging about 25 points a game. They've played some good competition in their schedule already. Defensively, just like us, probably give up more points than what we're comfortable with, and both of the kicking games are struggling right now with the kicking and punting situation. So very, very similar, identical records coming into this game. So on paper, it looks like a great game.
Coach Philly, glad to have you back on. You're my
sir.
dude, bud.
That's right.
I love this guy right here. So what's some of the things over the course of your journey here so far at Wilmington College Quakers? What's some of the things that you've faced over the year? And you guys are 2-3.
Yeah. Obviously, it's been fun. It's been quite the journey here over the last, really since we got here in January. But over the football season here, the biggest thing, for us on defense is we're very young in the secondary. We're playing 4 freshmen are starting for us right now back there. 3 of them, there's 3 more freshmen rotating in. We got 1 junior, rotating in as well. So we're very young and we're learning every week. And that's been, you get into the game planning parts of everything on defense. It's sometimes you got to go back to the drawing board and say, what can these guys do? You have all these ideas in your head and what you want to do in the past and how you attack this personnel in this formation, but ultimately it goes back to what can our freshmen handle, and sometimes it limits you, but also too it helps you sometimes the coordinator be basic and just let you play good old-fashioned base football, and not overthink things. So that's probably been our biggest challenge on defense is youth.
What do you expect out of Marietta's offense this week?
Yeah,
changing.
Very, very similar to what Coach Moore and Luke do on our side. They're going to give the ball to their quarterback. They're an RPO style offense where, they're going to put the ball in his hand and they're going to let him make the decision probably about 99% of the time. He's a very dynamic kid. He's actually very accurate. They threw a lot of 3-step passes for him and RPO type stuff that are very easy, high completion percentage type stuff. So he has some pretty good, actually not so much a lot of down the field stuff. But they're going to give the ball to their running back too. They got a dynamic running back. He's an All-American type of kid. Preseason All-American, was first team All-Conference running back, and he's a load. He's probably about 6 foot 220, 6 foot 225. So he's a stronger lower body kid. They can run through some tackles. So they present a great challenge for us defensively. But I think we'll be up to the challenge for sure.
Hey guys, good to see you again.
Absolutely.
Well, basically, from what I'm hearing so far, it sounds like a lot of this is going to be won on 1st and 2nd down. If you guys can force them into a 3rd and long, obvious passing situation, it's going to be very beneficial to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's defensive football. No matter what game you're talking about, if you could force those guys to put them in the situations where what they're going to do, and that way you could disguise your blitzes or disguise drop 8 coverages or whatever you're planning to do in that situation. Obviously it benefits us in those ways for sure. But yeah, and that's what we preach to our kids every week is be good on 1st down, not be bad on 2nd down, and then let 3rd down come around and we can attack them in 3rd down. So yeah,
it seems like you really have your offense balanced. You've been running the ball well, passing well, and you're not one-sided either way. You're able to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we're a little ahead of the curve of where I thought we'd be. Putting in a brand new offense with a lot of new faces and shuffling around our offensive line. We're operating ahead of where I thought we'd be as far as what we can grasp mentally and what we can get done. We still lack, at times we lack that guy to just make a play for us. And again, and that really hurt us last week, especially with, receiver-wise with the drop balls and stuff like that at critical times. We dropped 1 in the end zone. We dropped 1 on 3rd down. We dropped 1 on the first play of the game that would have, had a chance to score on the first play of the game. And then another big one on right when we were going right into the half that would have changed the whole dynamics of going into the half. So that's the biggest thing that I overcome right now is I think they're grasping everything, but now they got to make plays, and with the teams we have coming up the rest of this year, if you don't make plays, they're teams that can bury you in a hurry.
One thing I was looking at, statistics and things, and a lot of people look at statistics, what Luke Credit does. what your receivers do, what your linebackers do. One statistic that stuck out to me was the people that come to the games. I mean, you guys are bringing life back to this county. I mean, you've had almost 20,000 fans come to your games in the last 5 games.
Yeah.
How important is that for you to, you guys to have all the, a bunch of people, coming to the games, they're supporting you. How's that feel as a coach coming
well,
in?
to be honest, those numbers are skewed a little bit. We're on the road. We seem to be everybody's homecoming game, so they get some pretty big crowds while we're on the road. But if you want to call a spade, that's why those numbers are a little high. But our 2 home games, like I said, I've coached in this conference against Wilmington for a lot of years, and when we've come here, there hadn't been crowds. There hadn't been a whole lot of community. There was some empty bleachers there. So, the first game of the year, we saw a pretty good crowd, and I thought, hey, it's the first game of the year. People are excited, new coaching staff, see what there is. And then we came with that Capital game. That place was loud, and it was packed. It was a really good atmosphere. I don't care where you're at. And so certainly we got homecoming this weekend, so expecting another big crowd again. So that part has been an absolutely pleasant surprise. A lot more community and campus involvement than I was expecting.
Yeah, in your first game as a head coach and as a defensive coordinator, you guys come out, you have 5,672 fans. Just because that's your highest crowd the whole year.
Right.
You go against Capital, you guys have 4,950 some odd views for people in the stands. I mean, just because everybody's homecoming, do you feel as if this week you guys are going to have more people coming out just because it's homecoming? What do you feel like?
I think so. I really do. I mean, homecoming typically brings a lot of people back, and just the football alums that have been in contact with me. I think they're feeling some excitement. I know they're feeling some excitement because they're in constant contact with me after games, win or lose. And a bunch of them have talked about, hey, we want to come back. We want to see this in person. We hear a lot of exciting stuff now. We want to see it for ourselves. So I'm sure it's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere.
Luke Credit here, Waynesville. You started quarterback at Waynesville. I watched you play. Great athlete. How does it feel, having some great coaches, these guys coming along, your senior year, it's their first year coming on staff. How do you feel about that, them coming on, and, how's this year been different than other years?
I'd say, my bad. Probably the biggest change would be the attitude. Coach came in, and his first thing that he wanted to focus on was the culture of the program. And I think that everybody in the program would agree that it's changed for a positive. We've definitely been committed to it, come out, and been playing really hard. And I think that's another big thing is coming out, playing aggressively, bringing it to the other team, and just playing good football as far as
This year, it says you're 4th in the OAC in touchdowns. You got 12.
Okay.
Last year, the years before, it hadn't been so good. But we're not looking back at that.
Yeah.
This is your senior year, and you're doing a great job. You're leading the troops. You're doing wonderful. What's some of the things in the offseason you said, man, I'm going to be a senior. This is what I'm going to do. What'd you set out to do in this thing?
Well, it was kind of the last go-around, This is my last opportunity to do my thing, and I've been with these guys on the team for a few years, and then Coach Moore and Coach Philly and the whole staff coming in, As a senior, I want to have a good, solid impact on the program, so, I can come back and say, I think all of the seniors, you will be able to come back and say, we had a positive impact on helping the program move forward. So
you have 1,500 yards total offense. You've run for about 400, about 900, 1,100 passing. You've done a great job this year, and I watched you the very first week against the Earlham Quakers, and then also against Capital. What was that like in your first OAC win this year?
it was awesome. I can't say that I've played in a game where the atmosphere was as crazy it was, with obviously an overtime win in a college game and all the people there. It's hard to remember an experience like that, but it was just great to, kind of step back and see how everybody else, felt. For the coaching staff, that's, big deal. Come in and win an OAC game. It was our second win of the season. That's something that hasn't been done in a long time. And to see my teammates. I've been with these guys for a while, and seeing them get their butts kicked, and they keep coming and be able to see some success. It was really it was a great feeling.
Coach Moore here, it's his first year, as a head coach, and you sit there and your freshman, sophomore, junior year, was you thinking, man, is this going to keep doing this same thing? Pretty much, and what's Coach Moore pretty much brought to the table is, as a quarterback aspect, has he let you be free, kind of talk a little bit about what you want to do? Has he let you, play your game pretty much?
I think that, he just tries to put the team in the best opportunity to obviously win, but, in each and every play put guys in opportunities to succeed. And I think for me that's something that's helped a lot this year, is being able to be a little bit maybe more of a football player as opposed to, stand back there and hand it off and then slide and stuff like that. So I've just been able to, just kind of be in opportunities to succeed, and then X's and O's wise, we've done pretty well this year. But then also when the other team makes good plays, go make something happen, and we've been able to do that a couple times.
So, is the culture change noticeable between your teammates and on campus?
Yeah, I think it's noticeable all across campus, and not only on the team. So, it's affecting other people too, I think. So it's pretty cool.
So, Coach Moore, I'll go back to you here. You got your senior quarterback this year. He feels this way. He loves it. I mean, you guys are grinding. Marietta this week, you guys going to come back and fight. You guys fight every week, and I love it. Yep. You guys don't you don't stop fighting, and that's what I like about your football program and the way you guys handle it. What's it like having a guy like Luke here, there beside you? As a quarterback, most people are, hey, this is my quarterback. Quarterback kind of controls the offense.
Yeah, it's. And Luke was talking about it. He's a unique quarterback where he's a competitor first. He's not that prototypical, hey, sit in the pocket, and slide guy and all that. He wants to compete, and that's really all we've done is just go play. Go play, do what you're comfortable doing, and not try to put any restrictions on him and all that kind of stuff. But because of how he plays the game and his toughness, it's easier for me to preach to everybody else on the team of how you got to play. I mean, look at the guy pulling the trigger every play. Look at him running, putting his shoulder down, making plays, extended plays. And it's a lot easier when that guy's doing it and leading your team for everybody else to kind of jump on board when they see somebody else competing and just being a tough kid.
Have you noticed any difference in kids looking into your program, getting a little more excitement about Wilmington College?
Yeah, that again, another pleasant surprise, especially like I said, in that 1 hour radius from where we are. We've started recruiting a lot earlier. It wasn't very long. When we got there, we already started recruiting for the next year because we got there so late, and that response has been incredible. Our recruiting coordinator, Coach Byrne, has done a great job of kind of orchestrating that 2018 recruiting class. And like I said, in our 2 home games, we've had 80 kids there in 2 games. We got another probably 40 or 50 coming to our homecoming game. So that part has been a pleasant surprise. That was always something we were a little bit nervous about how we're going to recruit there. We know the area is great, but the brand itself of Wilmington football wasn't, and we were always worried about how broken was that. And as soon as we got here, we found out it's not broken at all. There's plenty of talented kids in this area that are still excited about Wilmington football.
Going on from all that, what's the injuries look like? How you guys look? You guys healthy this week? You guys got Marietta, are they healthy?
Yeah, I don't know too much about them. I don't know any major ones.
Yeah.
Hopefully we catch a break on 1 or 2 kids. We're dinged up in spots. I mean, our depth, has been an issue all year. Just our numbers being low to start with. So any injury, whether it's to a scout team guy or to a starting wide receiver, are major injuries in our program. We're about where most programs are about halfway through the year. The problem is we just started with so few less people to begin with that it affects us more than most programs.
Flynn last week had 142 yards all-purpose last week. How big was he in the game last week?
Yeah,
how much is he going to play in the Marietta game?
Yeah, we're going to play him as much as we can, man. And again, the great part about him is he, as you're seeing, he's given us another receiver. We're able to use him in a screen game against John Carroll. We use him out of the backfield a lot with some swing passes. He's become a really dynamic kid where, if all they can do is take a handoff and make some stuff happen, it's not that tough to build a game plan around stopping one guy in a backfield. But if you don't know how we're getting him the ball in the different ways that he can create offense or return kicks, there's a lot of different things that he can do to create field position for us. And again, that's not something that we knew coming in to the season that he'd be able to give us that. And as we learn more about these guys, I think on both sides of the ball, we're starting to see how we can utilize them a little bit better as the season goes on.
No, I did hear about Dave Henry's student athlete of the month for the league. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, for the entire conference to be the student athlete of the month in a conference, early, like the first one of the semester was a big one for us, and certainly being a local guy, being a guy that's done some great things in this program, it was to see it on a national stage and on our conference stage was, again, for a program that's trying to turn a corner, just more positive spotlights on us as we'll take all we can get.
No doubt.
Coach Philly, who's your captain pretty much? Who runs the cruise ship on the defense there?
Yeah, there's two guys that do it, and I think I talked about the last time I was on. The first guy is C.J. Thompson, our starting Mike linebacker, and then David Henry, our three technique up front. Those two guys control the defense and set the tone. Obviously they're two different people. CJ's the vocal guy, and David leads just by
example,
doing everything the right way all the time, on the field, off the field. And two great guys to, again, you take over this thing, you look for seniors to lead in, like Coach Moore's looking at Luke. There's two guys on my side of the ball that I couldn't be happier to have.
And I look around, every week you guys come on the show. Your coaching staff is real tight knit, and I like that. I think it's real awesome that you guys, you got that bond that, hey man, I got your back, I got your back, I got your back. That's inspirational for a football team. You come in, to an area and you're like, hey, listen, man, we stick together. This is how we stick together. You guys roll up here to the sports show, you do things together, and the thing is, you've helped me out. Even as a broadcaster and sending me photos, sending me things, doing things for me.
Don't forget that hat, too. That hat.
The hat, yeah. But like I said, how important is that for you guys to have that big tight knit?
To me, that's kind of always been my philosophy. I learned that when I was at Bluffton, and worked for one of my best friends, and that was kind of his deal was you're going to work together, you're going to spend a lot of hours together, and it's a stressful job, and you better be around people that you enjoy being around, or you're going to hate the job that you love. And so when I got this job, that was very, very important to me, was if we're going to preach a culture change, or we're going to preach how to turn this football program into a family, they got to see firsthand from the guys around them that, hey, we do get along, that we do legitimately care about each other. And a lot of the coaches that we hired, I have direct connections with, which brought them here in the first place. So it's easier to work with, it's easier to get along, it's easier to communicate with. I think our players notice how we interact with each other. So as far as bonding on offense and defense, there isn't that animosity of, me and Philly getting after each other on a practice field, yelling at each other or anything like that. I think they see our passion for the game, our love for the game of football, and how fun it can be to be a part of. And for 5 weeks, the kids that we've had have been a lot of fun to be around as well. So I think they're understanding that football isn't just all frustration, just all stress. That there is a time that you can enjoy it, and when you play it real well and you enjoy it and have fun, then you play well.
What is a day in Brian Moore's footsteps. What does it consist of? I want to know.
Oh, man.
I've been
We
thinking
don't
about
have
this
a
all
long
week.
enough
I'm
time
like,
for this thing, do we? I mean, how long is
just a quick version of what you do during the day as a coach for Wilmington College.
Every day is different, man. Usually I get up and I take my daughter to school, and then from there I come back and help get my youngest ones ready with my wife. Try to get them ready for school. I only put about 10 minutes into that because they wear me out. And then I run and hide in the office at about 8:30. Then we start. We do our normal deals there. We'll meet as an offensive staff about 8:30. Watch film. I'll bring the defense guys over at 10. We'll yuck it up a little bit and talk about what we're going to do that day at practice. We'll kick the defense out, and then offense gets in scripted and all that kind of stuff. And I'll try to go home and eat lunch with my youngest daughter when she gets out of preschool for about 20 minutes. Come back. Then we get out to that practice field about 4 o'clock. Get done around 6 o'clock. Usually run across over to Denver Park. Watch the Twins play a soccer match real quick. Hopefully just the end of it is all I catch. Can't really deal with young soccer right now. Then come back to the office. They're usually there till about 9:30. Go home, try to hang out with my wife for about 10 minutes. Then texting recruits, watching the Yankees or the Cavs, and he'll get to bed about 2 o'clock. And then as soon as I hear that alarm at about 4:57 in the morning, jump right back up and go fight through another one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But on Thursdays, you come here at CampusNation.com.
But I tell you what, you changed everything. It used to be we were done at 6.
Your routine.
Yeah, well, we used to get done with practice at 6 o'clock at night, and then we scrambled to get over here. And so I said, you know what, I got to spend more time getting ready for Chris's show. I got to give him a better performance.
My dude.
So the last 2 weeks, hey, just for you specifically, the last 2 weeks, what have we done, Luke? We changed practice at 6 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. And so now we're done with practice at 7:30, and so now I got all this free time in the afternoon to get ready for this show so I can have my A game.
Oh, yes. Luke, how much does that mean, to change it for my show here on Campus Nation? Did it bug you of going to the mornings or going to the evenings? How'd it feel?
Well,
The change of practice schedule.
we kind of liked it. Coach talked to the seniors about it a little bit beforehand, so obviously it helps you out, but it was kind of good for us, get up early in the morning before you get tired and get that work in. So
It's awesome. Coach Philly, what do you think about the show here?
I mean, there's no place I'd rather be right now than with you guys. You know what I mean? Thursday night, what time is it? Probably 7:45, 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
I mean, this is it. This is as good as it gets.
I mean, how awesome is it to be able to come talk football, get some of this county rallied around you? I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, things you do.
That's part of it.
Coach, going back to the game of football, going in.
Oh, we're good right there, man.
But Marietta this week, you guys, your homecoming, how big's it been for the seniors, you think? Have they been talking about homecoming much or what?
No, I tell you what, I think our kids have done a really good job no matter who we play, what the situation is week after week. We talk about every game's a different story, but the approach has to be the same. And whether we're playing John Carroll at their place, which was an uphill climb, they prepared the same week as when they were playing Earlham. And this week there hasn't been much talk about homecoming. We'll do a little bit tomorrow. Some of the alums have bought us some T-shirts and stuff we'll have to give out to the players tomorrow. But their preparation has been a slow, steady grind every week. They don't seem to get distracted. They don't seem to really lose focus of, hey, we're on a pretty good schedule here. We're seeing good results. And they really haven't got wrapped up in a whole lot of stuff.
So you're telling me you get excited to come on Thursday night shows?
I do. It's great for us. I mean, we get local high school kids in here. We typically get local high school seniors in here as well. So we get to do some recruiting and meet some of those seniors. And then certainly the coaches in this county, the high school coaches in this county have all been great to us. They've been fantastic to us. So you get to see Coach Yankee and Coach Killen and some of the other, Coach Marsh is over here today, and reestablish some of those ties once a week. The food's great here at Damon's. You should come on down, see us in person, all that kind of stuff. But no, it is. It's an unbelievable opportunity for this program.
Man, I'll tell you, Coach Moore, he's great. He should be running the show. This guy is off the hook.
I think he's gonna.
He has the words of wisdom, and I'll tell you that is what has led to your success because you know what to say when everything's wrong. Am I right or wrong?
No, I tell you what, and it's I get a lot from people. Hey, that's a great story. That's a great story. It's really not a story. I don't prepare anything. I speak from the heart. I speak from the gut. I speak from passion. It's got me to this point in my life. It's got me in trouble at times too, speaking too much, being too honest, and that kind of stuff. But I learned a long time ago, if you're going to be a coach, be you. You don't be anybody else. Be you. Speak from the gut. Speak from the heart. Speak with passion and pride. And people believe in you. People buy into honesty. And that's kind of the way I've always led. And right now, it's helping change this culture, I think. And our kids, if your players are a microcosm of what their coaches are, then I think I'm doing a heck of a job.
When we're going back, we've asked you this last time you was on, but people that's tuning in right now, when Coach Moore called you and says, "Hey, you was in North Carolina," he was like, "What'd you say?" When he says, "Hey, man, you come down and run defense."
Yeah, well, I mean, when the job first opened up, obviously there was conversations between me and him of, obviously I knew he wanted to get back closer to his wife and kids down here and closer to northern Kentucky and things like that. And it was just a simple text, "Hey, you going for the Wilmington job?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think so." And he's like, "You want to go with me?" And all that stuff. So there was probably about 3 weeks of, "Hey, did they call you? You going to the interview? Did you do this? Did you do that?" And it was like, "Well, no, nothing yet. It was like every day was something like that of, "Well, no, but they called this guy." And, and then that night came to where, he did get the interview, and then he called me that night. It was like, "Hey, they offered me the job." And he's like, "You coming?" I was like, "Yeah." It's easy, like I said last time. And that's, you talked about the coaching camaraderie that we have. It's an easy choice because you know what you're getting on his end.
Now, how many years you coached together?
7 years in Heidelberg? 6 years?
Yeah, six,
7.
And you guys was 1-39 and went from 1-39, took a 1-39 program to 9th in the country. I mean, that's doing work.
To be clear on that too.
Okay.
Yeah, they were 1-39 when Philly was there.
Yeah.
I got there. We went 4-6 right away. Philly has some accountability for that.
Yeah, but Philly kept grinding. He did. Man, I'm with you this time.
And I was a young coach. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. When Coach Alec came in there and brought B-More on, I was just soaking it up. Hey, what can I do here? What can I do here? How can I do this? And,
just learning, as a coach, just growing.
Those guys had way more experience than me, and you just.
How many times do you fail before you succeed? I mean, like anything.
The big thing is all is work. That's what we tell ourselves every day. All is work, and we outwork everyone else in the OAC, and we'll be fine.
Just like each and every week. I thank you, Coach Moore, coming on. I thank you, Coach Philly.
Absolutely, my man.
Luke Credit, met 4th and TDs in the OAC. I want to tell you, hey, I'm proud of you this year. You keep grinding. You stuck with it. You busted butt. Hey, you believe. And the thing is, I'm a believer in you, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
You're doing a great job.
Yep, get down there Saturday. Luke's going to put on a show.
We will. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, appreciate it, Chris.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, I love that. The picture in the back of you. I was like, yeah.
You got a job here after. Well, if we don't win any more games.
Thanks, Coach. Yeah.
You got to see the job they did on the field. They painted the field. It looks sharp.
He's Clinton. Good. Yeah, you're right. Just,
Yeah, I want
Cam, get in there.
My phone's dead.
All right, I'm going to do a station ID and we'll be ready to go.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
Oh, got that field done, man.
Did you?
Oh, here, take a look at it. Oh, does it look awesome? Here, where's that at?
You guys will turn.
106.9 WZAA-LP, Jeffersonville.
Here you go.
Welcome back to WZA 106.9 Campus Nation here on our Wilmington Sports Show. Next up, we got East Clinton Astros. East Clinton Astros are coming off a big win. They're now 3-4. They beat Fayetteville. Coach, tell us a little bit about the game last week and how it went.
Tale of two halves. We come out, played pretty well offensively in the first half. We had 26 points put on the board, and then they scored late with about 40-some seconds to go before the half. It was 26-6 at half. And then in the second half, they just became a lot tougher than us and just pretty much ran it down our throat and controlled the ball. And we ended up winning the game 32-22, but our defense didn't play particularly well. Our offense was good. We turned it over 2 times. Had we not turned it over a couple times, I think we could have got a couple more scores.
Did you guys run more, of the spread formation? Did you stay in a spread? Did you guys bunch it up, run your heavy package?
A little bit of everything. We came out and threw early. Wyatt Floyd had 2 touchdown catches. The first two scores of the game were throws from Brendan to Wyatt. And then we had a few runs. But we did go to some heavy. We go to some spread. I like being versatile and being able to run a lot of different formations and being able to throw and pass.
Austin Roth, you and Cameron here, both juniors for East Clinton. You guys worked your butt off in the offseason, and you show very great leadership. You guys been in the strength lab, been working hard, been at East Clinton in the weight room doing things. What's some of the things you've done, over your high school career to get better and make yourself a better athlete?
Well, I've just worked a bunch in the off season, a lot of lifting, conditioning, just trying to get better so we'd basically be ready for second quarter or second half to keep playing with teams and not.
Now, this past week, you play DB and play receiver here.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel, about the spread formation and new offense coming in? How do you feel, do you like it better than you last year? You maybe...
Yeah, I like it a lot more. It gives me a lot more chances to get better blocks and maybe get more in open space when I get the ball.
Now, Cameron Yankee here. The transition, of course, being an offensive lineman, defensive lineman, doing your work, what's the transition to the offensive line been for you?
It was a bit of a learning curve my first year, but this year I feel a lot more comfortable with my footwork and where my hands should go and how hard I should punch off the line and what blocks we should do, whether it's a kick step or a post step. But it's not been too bad.
You work real hard in the off season. In the weight room? Did you prepare for this? Take me through it.
Yeah, I would always go to strength lab, go to the workouts, and a lot of the times after strength lab, I'd always do an extra stop sign, extra prowler, do something a little extra, even after practices a lot of the times. Either that or I'm out there earlier with him doing snaps for PAT and stuff like that, so just any little thing would help.
Coach, this week, you guys' game this week against Bethel Tate, they're undefeated. Great football team. You guys are both 2-0 in the league. What do you expect to see out of Bethel Tate this week?
A lot of offense and a lot of plays. They like to run plays as quick as they can. The ball's placed ready for play, and they're snapping it and running another one right at you. And they are very balanced offensively. They throw a lot. They pass a lot. I know a few weeks ago against Blanchester, they had like 42 carries and like 31 passes. So they get a lot of plays off, and they got an outstanding quarterback. That's a senior. He's a transfer from Western Brown. He's passed for 1,900 yards already and 17 touchdowns. He's rushed for 10 touchdowns and rushed for nearly 600 yards on the ground. So, and they got another back that's rushed for 600 yards. And the impressive thing is he's completed 130-some passes already. And 4 different receivers on their team have at least 20 catches or more. And their leading receiver has like 46 catches for 800 and some yards already. So they spread it around to a lot of different guys. So you got to defend a lot of different guys, and you got to be ready to defend both the run and the pass. They're going to do them both. So it makes it really difficult to stop.
How are you guys going to come out in the offense and say you guys going to run, pass game? What's more you've been playing? I know you don't want to give away too much.
I think it'd be safe to say for any team that's going to beat Bethel Tate, you better control the ball. You better limit their number of possessions. We can't keep giving them possession and possession. We can't go 3 and out. We can't turn the ball over. If we want to win, we better control the football, shorten the game, and limit their number of possessions.
Seems like you guys really came into your own offensive niche here lately. You're creating an identity. You kind of know what you want to do with the ball, and like you said, your game plan sounds ideal. If you guys can take the ball and hold on to it for 6-7 minutes at a time and keep their offense off the field, that's going to work out in your favor for sure.
Yeah, and we've done that over the past 3 of the past 4 games that we've won. We've been successful at maintaining possession, not turning the ball over, and running the ball pretty well. Our running game has gotten a lot better. I think our offensive line's finally starting to understand how to block and the proper technique that it takes. Coach Olds has done a great job with our offense. He's come in, basically took over our running game and taught the blocking schemes and stuff. And the kids are starting to understand. Our running backs are, Todd Wedding, a sophomore running back, he's running really well, and Brendan's running really well. Our senior quarterback, between the two of them, they're putting up a lot of yards on the ground.
Alston, I want to ask both of you guys, but Alston here up first. School, your academics. What's your academics like? I asked Wilmington Hurricanes, some of the players there, Jaron and Sloan there. What's your academics like? I mean, what do you like? Do you plan to further your football, further your education after school? What's it like?
Well, I have straight A's all through high school right now, so I've kind of plan on doing something in the medicine field. I've always wanted to do something like that. And football, I don't think I really want to do anything with it after high school.
Just gonna keep grinding in.
Yeah.
What about you, Cameron? Of course, you're coming up. You got 3 games left to your junior year. That's promising left.
All right.
You have further in your career. Of course, you have your next year. But what's your studies like? What do you like to do with things?
Right now, I'm going to. What do you want?
Right up there.
Right now, I'm going to Great Oaks with Kansas School, and I don't think I'm really going to do anything with football after high school. But I don't think I'm going to do anything off the field out of high school. I'm probably just going to be done after high school. But after that, I plan on just going to college for a couple years, joining the Army. And,
probably Army then.
Yeah.
Because I've known you for a long years. You've always been the Army man.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a lot of relatives that, went through the forces and things. You've done a great job. And how important it is, just showing these kids your true compassion about what you do.
Right.
Your dad, of course, took over the program. I mean, is that any different, at home life and on the field? Is there any difference there? I just want to know.
I mean,
coach is coach on the field.
Yeah.
Dad at home.
It's a bit of both. I mean, coach at home too when he calls me out of my room for something on huddle because I did something wrong and screwed up on a play, but it's about the same, really, honestly.
That's awesome. So, Coach, how does it feel? Honestly, how does it feel? Having a son, being able to coach your son. Not a lot of people get an opportunity to coach their son, and you're very fair. I've coached with you for years. I know you're very fair with everyone. I mean, what's it like coaching your own kid in high school there?
Well, I don't really coach. I just coach quarterbacks, so I don't coach Cameron in his position. So it's not really any different to me. Now, like you said, at home, I can say, hey, I can just call him out of his room and say, hey, what happened here?
Yeah.
I can do that. Where other kids, I got to send them a message or something or wait and get them the next day. So he's the one kid that I can't control almost 24 hours a day. So that's a good thing for him.
Now, you guys are a young football team, very young, and going back to you guys have 6, 7 sophomores on the field all the time. Back in 2002, we had at East Clinton we had 7, 8 sophomores, a couple freshmen on the field at all times. There's only 2 or 3 seniors at all times. Building forward, how big was these last 2 wins for you, competing with schools our size of caliber?
Huge, just a confidence factor, and we've talked about confidence and attitude since July when we started camp, and confidence is something that they lack. Like, we can't give them confidence; they got to go out and get that themselves. We can adjust their attitudes, and we've done that pretty well this year. I've seen young guys step up and become leaders in the locker room, take over leadership roles, and the attitude has changed. But just the confidence is the one thing that we were missing, and I kept telling the kids that even as we went through week 1, week 2, week 3, and then we finally get to Greenfield week 4 and we get a win, and then we play Wilmington, but now we're in league play, and we've had some success. So those kids are really starting to feel like, man, this stuff works. Coaches are right in what they're saying, and they believe what we're telling them. Because I've always said if you have good attitude and you have good effort and practice, usually you'll get good results. So we hadn't always had that, but now that we're getting that, kids are starting to understand.
So your younger players are all buying into your program. Are you happy with their development so far? Or they seem like they're picking everything up?
Yeah, they really are. We don't have a lot of freshmen. We only have 5 freshmen on the roster, but we do have a large sophomore class with 12 sophomores, and but we are playing a couple freshmen now. They're starting on defense, so and a lot of sophomores, and a couple juniors, a couple seniors. So we are a very young team, and the future does look bright. We just have to continue to develop, and development comes 12 months out of the year. Attitude and effort and weight room, and it's how well you prepare. Those things all matter, and that's what we're trying to get these kids to understand. You can't. There's a big difference between high school football teams that field a team and high school football teams that build a program. Teams that just field a team, you show up in August and you just go play. And if you want to build a program, you better start in December and start preparing yourself physically and mentally. And that's what I try to tell these guys. If you're not in another sport, you need to be active in the weight room 3 days a week. Is all we ask. It's not a lot. You get yourself better. And I've got, for the last 3 years now, we've kept track of all the numbers for all these kids, where they started, what they weighed, what their bench max is, what their squat max is, now what they weigh, what their 40 is, what their vertical is, what their shuttle is. We keep track of all these things. The kids that show up, tremendous strides. They've gotten so much more better. They're physically prepared, and then therefore they're mentally prepared. They're more invested. When they show up in the off season, they're more invested. It means more to them than the kids that just show up in August.
Austin Roth, going back to you. How important, when Coach Yankee took the job at East Clinton, what was your first reaction? I want to hear from him.
It was a big thing. He coached me all through Pee Wee, and we had successful seasons all through Pee Wee. So I knew that something good was going to come eventually. I just knew we had to have a couple years to build and fix everything that may not have been there.
Was you how willing was you to pay the price when he came in and says, "Hey, this isn't youth level no more. We're going to step this ball game up. We expect you to work each and every week," and I know he does. I've seen you guys going multiple times, putting numerous hours a week in. How willing was you there when he said that and says, "Hey, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it"?
I was really invested. I went with them almost every Monday, Wednesday, Friday to strength lab, lifting in the morning during the summer, and just was trying to get better because I knew that high school football was a completely different thing from anything I'd ever played.
So after you guys got your wins, did you notice the confidence change in yourselves, your team? Did you guys feel like you get those first couple out of the way that you're going to go out and you're going to compete with anybody you get on the field with?
Yeah, the confidence really shot up after the Greenfield game because last year that was our only win and we won it, and then we went out flat the next game. It was Massey, but this year with Massey already out of the way, and we had Greenfield, and then we had other teams in league play. It was like a snowball effect. We hit one win, and then we just kept going, and it's just going to be a big roll now, and we're not going to stop.
That mental side of the game can be a big part.
Yeah.
Once you guys know you can play with anybody, you're going to do it each and every week. Just prepare hard, and when that game time comes, just go out and leave it out there.
Yes, sir.
Austin, going to you real quick, and I want to ask you, how's these last 2 wins? We talked to Cameron about it, and little snowball effect, and he's excited. How's it been for you these last 2? How confident?
It's been pretty exciting knowing that in this last year, week 8, we had no hope of winning the SCOL, but this year we know that we actually have a chance, and if we can put together a few more wins, that we are going to actually be league champs for once and be able to hang a banner.
This is a big week this week. You're facing Bethel Tate, who's probably one of the better. Not as good as East Clinton. You don't know that yet. We're about to face this week. This is your opportunity to go out and actually lay some wood with two of the best teams in the small side division of the SBAC. I mean, you guys got to be psyched up, pumped up. I mean, this got to be one of the biggest things, of all year. I mean, you can let all the losses go before. You're talking about a league championship. East Clinton's only hung 3 or 4 banners. You guys got this opportunity to hang a banner. Coach, what's it feel like this year? You guys are going into against Bethel Tate this week. I mean, you have an opportunity to hang a banner this year.
Yeah, we do. We've talked to our kids about that. It's a much different season than what we've had in the past few years with the league change and the teams that we're playing now. And I told these guys, and most of them didn't know and understand that. We're now playing schools that are like us. We're playing Division 5 schools, and we're playing, a couple Division 6 schools. So schools just like us that field about the same number of kids as us, where their kids are, 7 or 8 of their guys are now playing offense and defense. We're not playing schools that 2 platoon and have 70 and 80 kids, and, it's a big difference competitively. And, we got a chance. I mean, Bethel Tate's really good. I mean, it gives us a shot to say, hey, we're going to line up against the best, and they're 7-0 and ranked 10th in the state and 3rd in our region, and they are where we would like to be in the future. Well, how do we compare to them right now? How far behind them are we really? And only time will tell. We'll see how it goes tomorrow night. And like I said, if we can control the ball and our kids play well defensively and get a couple turnovers, things may go our way.
And now, how have you guys changed things on defense this week? You guys put up points each and every week. Have you guys done anything differently? Of course, I know I'm not talking to the defensive coordinator.
You know me. I just say the only thing I know about our defense is we haven't tackled well. That's all I say. It's like, man, we don't tackle real well. I don't really have anything to do with defense at all. I really don't. I'm not the type of head coach that I have my thumb on everything and control everything. I let these guys coach, and heck, I've even stepped back from the offense this year. I don't even call the offense anymore. So, Coach Van Scoy and Coach Floyd and Coach Scovaner and Snow, they've done an excellent job with our defense. We're practicing being more physical. And the one thing we did switch about a month ago is we start tackling on Mondays. We're like, we used to, we just go out in helmets or helmets shoulder pad. Now I said, man, our tackling's bad. Let's go out in full pads, and we're going to start tackling on Mondays.
On a Monday?
Yeah, we go out Mondays, and
nice.
We have tackling drills for 30 minutes. It's just different circuits, and kids are learning how to be physical. The kids actually started liking it. So we've become a little bit more physical, although in the second half last week, we kind of took a step back. We looked like we did in the first 3 weeks. But, and I tell, and you know this because it's the way you played, tackling is an attitude. It's a want and it's a desire. I mean, you don't have to be a good tackler. You just got to kind of be a little nuts, and you want to hit people.
Oh, yeah.
People. We don't have enough kids like that. We just don't. We don't have enough kids that just want to run through a man. And that's an attitude thing that we're still trying to develop. And it's coming, but with such a young team, and we haven't been a physical bunch in the past 2 years, but it's getting better. And hopefully tomorrow night, they show up ready to hit some people, because we're going to have to.
Now, who would you feel out of that senior class there? Who's got that fire, that desire? It's like, hey, listen, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're doing it. Maybe it's from your junior class. I mean, who's got that? Who steps up and says, hey, I'm going to be that guy?
Well, on defense, Nick Mess, he likes to hit. I mean, he's one of our guys that will hit. He plays middle linebacker, and he'll get nasty, and he'll hit some people. On offense, it's really Brendan Jenkins is our quarterback, has started to run the ball with that type of an attitude. I mean, he's bigger than most your running backs around. I mean, he's 6 foot, 194 pounds, and has got pretty good size, and he'll pack a punch. I mean, I've seen him in the last few weeks just run some DBs over. And now that we're into league play, some guys don't want to hit him when he's coming at him.
He's a tough kid, competitor for sure. I mean, I would think any DB that ran up on him would give it a second thought before they wanted to step in front of him.
There's a few that kind of regretted sticking their nose in there. He's ran a few over the last 2 weeks. So he's running with an attitude, and Nick's playing defense with an attitude.
You feel like he's stepped up his leadership role in this team?
Yeah, I mean, he's doing last year was his first year playing quarterback for us, and it was a really tough transition. And we didn't ask him to run a lot last year because we had a couple good running backs that were seniors. So, he just did more throwing, and it was something that he struggled with, but he's gotten better at. Last year I know he only threw 3 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. This year now he's at 6 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. So, he's almost flipped that. He's throwing real well. He's completing nearly 60% of his passes. The last few weeks we haven't asked him to pass as much because we've been real good at our running game, and he's been the big factor in that. He's ran really well. So we're pretty pleased with where he's at with his run game. He's rushed for 6 touchdowns too, and rushing. He's a little more than 5 yards a carry now. So it's been a good year for him offensively.
One thing I've noticed, East Clinton, since you've taken over the program, it's really grown. You've put some new coaches in different spots. You've added, Coach Olds. You've added Coach Vance Coy. How'd you pull those guys? Coming out. What was the things? How do you pull, guys that they're great coaches like that from programs that are seceding as well?
Well, we're lucky. We had a big turnover in our coaching staff this past year, and Coach Olds, had been at Kings for the past 4 years with his Uncle Andy, and he knew their offense really well, and their running game kind of fit our scheme, what we were wanting to do this year. We have a quarterback that can run real well, they can throw a little bit, so it fit real nice. So we kept our passing game, and then he brought what they were using at Kings for the run game. So it's really worked out pretty well. And then Coach Vance Coy, of course, you played for him, and I've coached with him for a number of years, but never at the high school level, and finally got the opportunity to do that. He had been going to school for the past 4 years and just graduated, and had the opportunity to come and coach with us. And he's been a defensive coordinator for 14 years at the high school level, not in the past 5 though. And so he's an old rough guy, and he likes to, he
definitely,
he
love it.
He's changed a lot of attitudes on our team and opened some eyes, and that was really needed. It was really needed, because the one thing that we said when we had our first coaches meeting in June was the first thing that has to change in our locker room for us to be successful is the attitude.
Yes.
The attitude had to change, and it has. It really has. And like I keep telling them, you have good attitude, good effort, good things happen, and now they're starting to see that is true.
Okay, Cameron here. I just want to ask you quickly, how's it feel, with Coach Vance Coy coming in the locker room? How's your relationship with Coach Vance Coy?
Oh, I've known him for a very long time. We've been around each other for a very long time. He was actually the guy that taught me what lifting is and how to love the game of football. But you really do see attitudes change and heads start turning when he gets in the locker room, because kids respect him, and he's put a lot of respect into these kids. And he's also put a lot of violence into a couple of kids, which actually is a good thing. But
that's awesome. But you got to play with that violence.
Oh,
you
no,
got
you
to
do.
play, but you got to be, controlled on the field, and I like that. Austin, what about you? How's having Coach Vance Coy coming on this year? Joining back with Coach Yankee, they've had a lot of successful years as coaches together. They're a heck of a team together, offense, defense wise. They're great coaches. How's it feel having? What do you feel about Coach Vance Coy and how he's really took this role on?
I really feel like he's changed a lot of attitudes within our program. Like the past couple of years, we've had negative attitudes throughout the whole season. Nobody believing we can win, everything. And as soon as he gets to practice, everybody straightens up. No one's acting up anymore.
When I was in high school, it was funny you said that. When I was in high school, he had this old 1972 Camaro, and it was falling apart, and all of a sudden we'd all be being lazy on the field, and we'd look over, and all of a sudden you'd see, whoa, an old Camaro, and everybody'd be running full speed. They'd be doing all their drills correct. Just seeing how much respect he brought to the program, you're like, man, Coach V's here. We better shape up. And and I know what you mean, because it's kind of Coach Yankee, he knows that how well he was, and like he said, Coach V was in college for 4 years. He was doing his thing, has to do his home life, but he always wanted to be there with you guys. And the thing is, and I'm glad to see the success come back to East Clinton. Finally, there's a great coaching staff all together as a whole. And you guys are doing big things, and you guys got another year. Influence all these kids that's younger to come out and say, hey, listen, man, you could be a part of this. This is great. There's a lot of people that sit back and watch, and they say, man, I'm not a part of this. How do you think they feel when they sit in there, when you're singing the fight song, and you're all sitting there holding your helmets up at the end of the day? How does that feel, opposed to losing?
I think we sing the alma mater after every game, but when I look up in the stands, and if there are still people there, those kids that aren't playing, you can tell that they wish they were a part of it, because we're all coming together as a community now, and it's not divided. And I think next year we'll see a lot more than around 30 kids come out. We'll see a lot more.
Coach, how's it feel, getting these victories? You see people gathering. I mean, there's been some fans coming out. There's going to be a lot tomorrow night, and we'll be at Bethel or at East Clinton to watch the Bethel Tate game. Of course, we'll be broadcasting it. Of course, I think you're going to show up after the game. Give us a.
I'll come up and talk to you.
Okay, that'll be good.
Win or lose, I'll be up there.
So, tomorrow night, you guys are taking on Bethel Tate. I hope everybody comes out. They need to. 2-0 teams in the league. It's going to be a great game. You got great coaching. Like I said, Bethel Tate. What is one thing? What's their numbers like, real quick? I want to say
they got 45 kids. I know in talking to Coach Essig, he's done a great job down there. He was an offensive coordinator at Western Brown for quite a number of years with Coach Dwyer, and who went on to he's now at Anderson, so he was his offensive coordinator. So they're kind of running the same system. And if you look in the Cincinnati area, the two kids who are leading the passing are being coached by those two coaches who are at Western Brown. So they got the top two quarterbacks, and they just run that up tempo type of offense. And Bethel Tate's been a program that was down for so many years, and 2 years ago they went 6-3, made the playoffs, and that was their first playoff appearance ever, and it was like their first winning season in like 15 years. Last year they're 5-5, and now this year they're riding high, and they're 7-0. And I think I read in the paper today where if they do win tomorrow, it'd be their best start since 1968. So it's been a long time ago, and those people down there have to be excited and super pumped. I remember how that was for us when I played in high school in 1989, and we went 10-0. It just seemed like every week each game got bigger and the crowds got bigger, and it was more exciting. I know what they're experiencing. I just hope we can ruin it tomorrow night.
Guys, what's it mean to you to have somebody like Chris and Coach Olds, Coach Floyd, guys that have been there, made it to the playoffs, back you, and he's telling you anything's possible. You work hard enough, you can go all the way. But to have somebody that's coached all you through Pee Wee, I mean, this guy, he talks about you nonstop when he's at the house. Feel like I know half the kids in East Clinton, never even been there. But,
because I care.
I know you do. I know you do. He really does. You guys have no idea how much he really does care about every one of you. It's nuts. But, what's that do for you, knowing that it's possible?
It gives us a big confidence boost knowing that not only we have faith in ourselves, but our community has faith in us too, and people who have played before us and coached us in the past. It just gives us a big morality boost throughout the locker room, I think.
That's good.
When I coached you guys, and that's the thing, and that's one thing I want to leave you guys with tonight. You guys have worked hard. I see the development in you. When you guys walk past me, I'm like, geez, he's bigger than me now. I'm just fat. You guys are strong. Like, you're getting bigger. I'm fat, dude. And I'm like, man, I'm fat. I'm like, you guys look good. You're working hard, and be leaders in this coming up next year. Finish your year this year strong. We want to bring us back to East Clinton. Put the banner back on the wall. You guys deserve it. East Clinton Astro football, it means a lot to me. And, now that I've got to notice, I've been on the Wilmington Sports Show here, talk with Coach Moore, Coach Killen. A lot of the same attitudes around here. This is our county. This is where we belong. This is no matter what. East Clinton's a smaller school, okay? We're not fielding 60, 70 kids. We're not fielding 80. We're fielding 30, 40. But the thing is, it's football. Us as a community, let's rally around it. Love it. Play the game like you want it. The next person in line to play it. You know what I mean? We all leave our marks. And like I said, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you also. I'm proud of you, Cam, for working hard, sticking with it, and showing these kids the way they need to play the game of football. Coach, thank you, and good luck against
Thank you. Thanks for having
Tate this week.
Appreciate
like
it.
I said, you guys better come up with a big win.
We're going to give it a shot. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for coming on, guys. Thank you, buddy. I was glad you guys came. Thanks.
We'll see you tomorrow night.
Yep. See you tomorrow night.
Thanks. Appreciate it.